So one of the things you stressed earlier was preparation and how you prepare, and you're prepared for the unexpected, but you're prepared for preparing and serving the best food possible. How important is it to actually think about the ingredients that you shop for? I know when I visited French villages on a Saturday, you'll see the housewife with her little shopping bag, and she'll go around and she'll be testing the food and going from vendor to vendor, and it's almost a ritual. Is there something there in the selection of the ingredients that is as important as the actual preparing and then the presentation of the food itself? And can that be taught to people using some of these new technologies like online?
You know, I really believe if you cook well at home, from the beginning on, you teach your kid to eat the right way, we're gonna need many less doctors. Because nutrition is one of the most important things in life, we never take enough care of them. So when parents go, for example, shopping, instead of going on the outside of the aisle where the vegetables are, where the produce are, they go on the inside where the canned food is, where the cookies are, where the sweets are, and nothing really fresh. So if you open a can of beans, it will not have the same color or the same flavor than if you buy fresh beans. Now, if you are lucky and you have a farmer's market somewhere in your neighborhood, it's certainly great to support the local farmer, but more importantly, you get food which is fresh from the farm, which tastes the way it should taste it. Most of the time it's organic, so there's no pesticides, so we don't ruin our body with all these preserved foods and pesticides. So whenever you can go natural, it's certainly better. And if we would eat better, there would be less obesity, there would be less sicknesses out there. A lot of it comes from eating the wrong stuff. And in America, one other thing is the portions. Yeah. Nobody has to eat a 16-ounce steak at night before they go to sleep. If you eat 3 slices of it with a salad, you're perfectly fine. And I think these restaurants out there, which make these huge portions, and it's like a trap. The more you eat, the bigger you get. The bigger you get, the more you want to eat. So it's a never-ending story. So I think instead of saying I want quality, not quantity, and that's what I try to stress. Quality is really the most important part.
I had a conversation with Dr. Oz for this same video series, and Mehmet was saying healthcare in the U.S. is not going to get solved in Washington. It's going to get solved in the home.
Yep.
And that we need to separate healthcare into well care, which is keeping people who are well even better health, and sick care, helping people who should take care of themselves better to learn how to do that. And that it all comes back to exactly the message which you've given, which is you start with the right ingredients, you don't take supersized portions, you eat carefully, you think about what you are consuming, because that's who you become. And your message is so complimentary to Dr. Oz's.
I know, and I know him too. And we have an old saying, tell me what you eat, and we tell you who you are. And it is so true, because when you look at people who are in shape, who look good, you never see them eating junk food. And then you have kids or grown-ups which are big already, obese already. You see them with their M&Ms, you see them with their big ice creams, you see them with all this junk food and all these sugar things, all these flour things, which are not really good for you. And I'm not saying that I love chocolate, I love sorbets, I love different sweets too, but you have to have it in moderation. You don't have to eat a pint of one thing or a pound of another thing. So you get a little taste, but buy something good quality. And when people eat at home the same way, make a salad, make some vegetables. When I cook at home for my family, and I really love to do it, what we do, we get the vegetables from the farmer's market or sometimes from the store, and then I steam them or I grill them. Put a little olive oil and a little sea salt on top. My kids love it, my wife likes it, and I eat it. It tastes like the way it should taste. So if you taste asparagus, or if you taste some broccoli, even my 8-year-old son, if the broccoli is overcooked, he will send it back. And we go to a restaurant and we order steamed broccoli and steamed carrots. If the broccoli is mushy, he says, I don't like this broccoli, it's mushy. So, and also it doesn't have the same taste and the same flavor. So that again, you have great ingredients, but you have to have the know-how how to cook it. That's really an important part.
The great enjoyment for me to have a conversation with you is not just to hear about the global empire, which clearly everyone knows how successful you've been, but to see as they say, the journey is the reward, and to see the journey that you were on that is really about a cause. I know in the days that I worked with Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, they thought about the things they were doing, not just building successful companies, but they saw it as a noble cause. In their case, it was to make computers personal, to give people shrink-wrap software that would, as knowledge workers, let them become more productive and change the world one person at a time. Dr. Oz talks about a noble cause when he says we need to start to think of the consumer era of health and wellness and what we can do with WellCare. And you have articulated beautifully a noble cause.
Yeah.
And your noble cause, it goes way beyond the huge success you've had building Wolfgang Puck Global Empire. You have articulated a noble cause about how to get people to make life-changing behavior, which can have all kinds of positive implications on how long they live, the quality that they live, family happiness, and all of these things.
Yeah,
It's just a wonderful story.
You know what? It is all about the quality of life. And I think in the old time, the kitchen was the center of the home. Yeah. And it should be the center of the home.
And you're bringing it back.
I want everybody to get together in the kitchen and have a great time. It should be fun. Cooking can be fun. And if you learn a little bit, it will be fun. It won't be a chore. And when everybody is there, you don't want to have half of the family or everybody is somewhere playing and you have to scrub in the kitchen and say, oh, now I have to prepare a meal for 6 people in a hurry. No, get everybody involved in it. Everybody has interest in food. We all have to eat it, so why not all prepare it? So that way, the next generation will learn already. And you know, we almost lost a generation because of television. They were saying that cooking and all these super processed foods and all these junk foods out there, you know, this fast food stuff. And obviously it's easy to get a few hamburgers or a pocket full of fried chicken, but you know, we don't want to know what is in there, because you know, oh my God, that I put that in my body, I put the most refined gasoline in my car, but I put that junk food in my body, and then sooner or later it catches up on you. And I really believe to make the kitchen your focal point at home, just like to me, the kitchen is the focal point in the restaurant. You know, that's why we open it up. We're demystifying it totally so people can see the chefs working. People can smell the food and see the action and say, God, this is actually fun. We can see the chef cooking and they seem like having a good time. Not too much fighting going on, not too much yelling going on. It seems like they're actually preparing something really delicious and fun.
Wolfgang Puck, America's #1 chef. What a pleasure it is to have this conversation right here in Spago, your very first fine dining restaurant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.